Hello, and welcome back to this channel. Today's going to be a very fun video because today we're going to be going all over just the greenhouse, outside, the germination room, all over the fish tanks, I guess. But yeah, this will be an informational and garden tour. There's going to be so much information we're going to be talking about in today's video, from all the plants to a lot of orders we just placed for like strawberries and stuff, and also a lot more information I have about Go For It produce. And yeah, we'll be doing everything kind of in just random orders in today's video. So before we do go and start today's very long informational and garden plant tour, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you not miss our video. Please like this video. Let's go and start today's video. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the germination room really quickly because I really need to close this room for the day. But I'm also germinating a lot of like plants for the aquaponics setup because I really want to work with that a lot more this upcoming season. So I'm growing a lot of lettuce in that. I think, yep, all of it is lettuce. Then, if I can even certain that good, I'm growing peppermint. And so far, I'm not really seeing any growth whatsoever, which is incredibly disappointing. Then, I'm also growing, well, that might be a plant actually right there. So, yep, it is. Okay, so that's a first. We got celery. That's the first one that's coming up. And then right here, there's a lot of amazing stuff happening. I'm growing 2 different types of gourmet, just lettuce mixes. And then over here, I'm growing basil, parsley, and cilantro. Very excited about all of this. If I can even get this lid on, maybe, there we go. All right. So let's just go ahead and go out of the germination room really quickly. Close the door to keep all that humidity in there. It's extremely important to keep constant temperatures and humidity in your germination room, or it can hurt your germination process. Let's just kind of start over here first in this main greenhouse room. We got the strawberry plants, we got 5 bare roots, and we got a tray full of seeds. We'll just see how both do. Then we got the ecosystem. Both of these, well, both the fish tanks were just given food. So if you guys do want to check that maintenance video out, we posted it this morning. Please do. And yeah, so just all of it is doing really good. The plants, the fish are, well, 2 of the fish are pregnant, so that is incredible. I'm very excited to really learn a lot more about that and just everything about the ecosystem, because that was the main plan with it. It's just so incredible to see all this life starting to build giant, just a lot more life in the setup. So very excited to really work with that. And let's go over to the aquaponics and start learning more about this. Now, I'm really hoping with Go For It produce I can double the size of the system. Now, I might only be able to do 3, but I'm really going to try as hard as possible to fit 4 in here. Now, if I have to, I'd rather do 4 of these than a bigger fish tank, but I really do want to do both. I'm really hoping to get a bigger fish tank that I can grow, that I can work with a lot more fish. I'm hoping to double all of the fish. The snails, I'm hoping to get a lot more snails, a lot more different types of fish too, that are bigger, obviously too, so the goldfish don't eat them up. But going through this system, a lot of the plants have gotten hit hard. If you guys are new to the channel, a few weeks ago, I made a huge mistake by adding too much oxygen into the system. Now, if you look around, I have a lot of kind of hoses all over. You're probably wondering what those are. Those are these air pumps, which add air into the main system. And at some point, when you do create those levels way too high, it really hurts the plants. It kills them all. Or I wouldn't really say that. It's a better kind of description of that is more of it. Too much oxygen almost blinds the root structure to the point where it can't find that nutrient base it needs to thrive. So I'm growing basil, cilantro, parsley, and then a ton of different lettuce. The lettuce is all basically dead. The top is kind of like holding on still, but basil I think won't make it. Cilantro is starting to die out, but parsley is starting to do actually pretty well. And cleaning wise and water quality, everything's starting to do pretty good. Now, every other week, I like to do a big cleaning day. And actually, just 4 days ago, we did that day. So every day it should get a little bit dirtier, but other than that, the fish tank looks beautiful right now. Then going over here, there's a lot of amazing stuff. Now, it's going to kind of feel like I'm rushing through the system just because I want to save a lot more time for today's video where I can talk about Go Forth Produce and that setup. So just be prepared for me to talk extremely quickly in some of these examples. I'm growing a lot of lettuce. I'm growing tango, grand leaf, well, grand lettuce almost, and then we got ruby red. That's very, very exciting, and I'm really excited to work with that more. Then I'm growing butter crunch. There's also oregano. I have 5 pots of them. I'm growing 1, 2, 3, 4. Those ones just came out here, and I realized really there's not that much, so I ended up dumping a ton in this, and then we'll see how that does. Then I'm growing 8 of these pots. There's 4 over there that have been in this room for a little bit longer, but we'll see how those do. Going down, I'm also growing bigger tomatoes. We're growing 2 different sizes, just the classic bigger tomatoes, and then we're growing cherry tomatoes. We're growing 4 of those cherry tomatoes, and I'm growing 2 pots. There's one all the way at the end down there, kind of the second level of that end shelf, and then the second one is right there. I'm growing a ton of strawberry bare roots that have disappointingly died out. Going down, I'm growing a lot of peppers. These are actually doing very, very well. So I'm growing red, green, and yellow. So that's awesome. Going over here, I'm also growing strawberries, and those, for the most part, have basically kind of, well, went out. Then I'm growing lavender, and the lavender is kind of just slowly holding on still. I'm growing parsley right there. The parsley just went out yesterday, so it's not going to look as good as it outgrown in 2 to 3 days. Then the strawberries, these are the older plants in here. These were actually looking pretty bad, and the leaves were actually turning red. I ended up kind of going through the tray yesterday and kind of took off all those strawberry leaves and kind of just cleaned up the plants to make it look a little bit better. Then going over here, I'm growing cilantro. The cilantro is doing incredibly well. I'm also growing a lot of different types of flowers. Cosmos, Aster, Impatience, 4 o'clock, Kypress, and Snapdragon. And then these are doing these plants generically are doing very, very, very well. I'm so excited to really work with these a lot more. I'm also working with these beautiful, beautiful plants. Very, very excited for this too. And we'll just see how stuff does. I do kind of feel like the plants are starting to kind of almost do bad. So a little bit worried in that area, but kind of when I kind of dig a hole almost, I kind of feel like the soil feels a little bit overwatered almost. You can kind of see in there, but maybe it's a little bit too much water, but so far I kind of feel like maybe they are getting a little overwatered. So I guess now I'll kind of slow down on that, just let them thrive on their own, see how they do, and if they need more water, I'll just get them more water quickly. But some of the leaves aren't looking as good, like this one's starting to die out. And then yeah, so we'll see how stuff does. Going down to kind of what I like to call the crammed shelf, I'm growing lemongrass, bunching onions, we got spinach, we got the basil I was telling you guys about earlier, and then I'm growing broccoli right there. And then I'm also growing asparagus on that other half that looks really small. Over here I'm growing a lot. Well, these plants are just crazy, but these are sugar peas. One of my favorite plants, one of the most rewarding, especially during like a hot summer day. You can go out into the garden, pick some sugar peas, and it's absolutely a beautiful and most rewarding thing ever. It's amazing. If you guys like peas, or if you guys want a recommendation for like something to have in the garden that you don't like, you've never really grown before, I would strongly recommend these because it's just absolutely incredible to really just work with it. Every day it's just a great another day to really learn more about plants. And yeah, this is just one of my favorite plants in here. So turning around, we got a lot of stuff over here. There's a lot of progress, lots and lots of progress. First thing is I'm growing sugar I was gonna say sugar peas there, but I'm growing these. These are doing incredibly well. Check out that root structure. You can kind of see a little bit of that root structure right there. That root structure looks absolutely incredible. So very, very, very excited about that. And I'm also growing strawberries. Those have kind of just sadly not made it. Now it is starting to produce tomatoes, so that is awesome. I'm also growing dill, which is under there. It's harder to see, but it is really starting to thrive, and that might be actually ready to harvest very soon. I'm also growing mustard, and then for the end of this part of the video, I'm growing oak leaf, gourmet mixture, romaine, black Simpson, and then to end it, I'm growing rosemary right there. I guess I'll see you guys when I get outside. All right, this part of the video will be crazy quick, but this is the outdoor garden. Now, walking around, I'm just gonna kind of stay in this area because really the flowers I've talked about a lot lately. So rosemary is doing quite well. The celery is doing pretty good. I'm a little bit worried about the blueberries because it has been a little bit colder than expected lately. These strawberry plants are also doing incredibly well. Over on that side, that black pot right there, I'm growing 3 different types of beautiful flowers. And then on the side, I'm also growing marigolds and a few different types of zinnias kind of mixed together. So very, very excited about that. I'm going to go ahead and go back in. And also a little bit worried about tonight because it is supposed to rain very, 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 very hard. So we'll just see if some plants get damaged. But for now, we'll just see how stuff does, and I'll see you guys when I get back inside, and I'll start talking about Go Forth produce. And then once that's done, that'll be the end of the video. Now, if you guys have made it all the way through today's video, I really do want to thank you all so incredibly much for staying all the way through. Now, this kind of half of the video is my dream business. I really do want to start this after high school and just really, really learn a lot more about plants in this field. Now, if you guys have been with this channel for quite some time, for about a year now, I've had this set up for a while. I've really learned a lot of incredible stuff about all these plants, microgreens, strawberries, all sorts of stuff. And it's just awesome to really walk around and know how much I've really learned by just the setup at this scale. Now, obviously, it is a pretty big and nice setup, which is so awesome. But at the end of the day, one of my biggest dreams has been I really, really want to produce produce in here. And instead of really growing it to just learn about the plant, I really want to grow it to sell the plant and really see a lot of smiles on people's faces when they try this extremely fresh produce. Because at the end of the day, when you go to the supermarket, you're getting strawberries that are shipped hundreds to thousands of miles to your grocery store. And even though that's nice because then you're getting stuff from other areas, which in that area it seems nicer, but from quality, it's not the best quality. So I really want to kind of help the community, grow for the community, help people that just really need food, and just a lot of amazing stuff that I really wanted to do for quite some time. So I'm really hoping to double the aquaponics system and learn a lot more about a lot of that. Now, at the end of the day, one of my biggest things I've always noticed is I always want to start something and then go straight into that. I really do want to start this business, but I'm going to build the setup this upcoming summer. Well, not this summer we're already about to go into. Next upcoming summer. I probably should have said that the first time, but I'll start construction in about a year, and then it'll give me about 6-7 months to really learn about the setup, let the aquaponics system kind of settle with the nutrient balances and really a lot of that. Also, I'm really hoping to do a lot of growth with strawberries, and we'll give those a lot of time to really start growing, form a great root structure, and yeah. So I'm hoping to have about 14 shelves in here. I'm going to completely clear out this room. There's going to be, well, I'm going to sell the shelves you're looking at currently, and I'm going to get shelves about double the size. I'm not going to say double the size, actually, because these are still pretty tall, but I'm getting shelves that are about 6 feet and 3 inches tall. So that is much taller, and instead of having 3 shelves on each, I'm going to have 5 shelves on each, so it's going to be a lot bigger. There's also going to be a lot more grow lights that I'll have to somehow get my hands on. But it'll be very, very awesome to really work with this new setup in about a year. And still a lot of planning to do. I'm really, really hoping to do a lot more work with like the aquaponics to really learn a lot more about that. I'm also going to be focusing on strawberries a lot this upcoming season. So if you're wondering why I'm going to be focusing on a particular plant later on, that is why. And I'll also be doing that to a few other plants, learning about just how they grow, learning about different setups I can kind of change up on this new system. I'm hoping I can have about 14 shelves and 4 just setups of just 4 aquaponic units. So those are 2 units right there. You can kind of see the difference between each one. They're just connected because that's just, yeah. So beautiful, beautiful setup. I'm hoping that about maybe 8 of them, maybe 9 shelves can be dedicated to strawberries. Maybe 1 shelf can be dedicated to like just learning about different plants that I want to work with later on. So basically exactly what this is, but I would be kind of selling the produce made from that shelf. It'd basically just be like this shelf. I'm growing a ton of just random stuff right there with like the bunching onions. So that'll be awesome. But I'm hoping I can have maybe 1 to 2 shelves for microgreens. I'm hoping I can have 1 for like when I'm starting plants to go in the ecosystem and starting plants to go in like other areas. And yeah, it'll be a beautiful, beautiful setup. At the end of the day, a lot of the system's going to run off of those pots. So I'm probably going to have to get about 100 of them, and I'm going to have to get a lot of strawberry plants. I think I did find the grower and plant producer where I do want to get my big supply. I did end up ordering about 40 from them a few days ago, and I should get those in about 3 weeks. So that would be a great, great opportunity to really learn about those plants. And the good news about getting that many plants is when I would start the business immediately, well, the first day I started, I'll be able to start selling strawberries on the spot right there, while the other half can start to grow, because at the end of the day, 5 months is still a long time for these plants to grow, but they need about a year so they can grow out that beautiful root structure, and the plant can really focus on leaf production and just all of that beautiful, beautiful stuff. So we'll just see how stuff does. But for now, this is going to be the end video. There's still so much to plan, from safety, that'll be one of my main concerns, and just plant quality and packaging station will be a very, very big one to make sure no one gets sick off of our produce. And yeah, so this will be the end of the video. So if you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe, hit the notification on also you not miss a video, and please like this video. It's gonna be another video, so thank you all so incredibly much for supporting the channel and watching today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when we post next. Peace.